Hello again, everyone. This is Jared Miller. I was coming at you with a quick tutorial today. I was just going to do a little bonus tutorial, if you will, on the moves that we covered on last week's Flowtricks challenge. So real quick, I'm just going to kind of go through the moves that we did and kind of, touch base on those, do a little bit of slow-mo for you and some stuff like that. Okay, so the first one that we did was the reverse torque hand transfer. So naturally you need to know how to do the reverse torque. And Gabe has that tutorial, a couple tutorials on it that are pretty freaking amazing on it. Actually, I think he does a really good job covering it. But just kind of how I learned it was basically to start, you're going to start in reverse grip and just do your basic figure eights, just one beat figure eights on each side. So it's just the same principle as if you were doing forward or reverse figure eights in front grip. You're just going to do the same thing in reverse grip, and you're going to do them reverse, so they're going to be coming upward or towards you as you're doing it. Okay. So you're just going to practice just your ones, and I'll show you kind of how this looks like here. So you can kind of see that I kind of sway the nunchuck out of the way to make sure that the swinging stick isn't going to just like bump into it or just get locked right there. You know what I mean? So you're going to want to kind of guide it back and forth a little bit, but this is how you do your basic one beat, okay? So the reverse torque is going to come from just a little variation in this. You're just adding extra beats on each side, and you can, I've pretty much got it up to a 4 beat. I'm sure there is a 5 somewhere out there, but that's kind of how I've kind of counted it so far. So, but the basic reverse torque is going to be, so you're doing this sort of movement. Okay, now where that comes across is when you're doing those reverse figure eights, there's this spot right here where it's kind of coming across the back of your wrist right here, and it just guides through on its own, just through momentum. So the reverse torque takes use of that. So at that point where it's going to cross over, when you're doing that figure eight right there, this portion here, so right there, up and over, you're utilizing that to kind of do this extra beat with it, like that. It's gonna look like this. And that's just your standard 3-beat reverse torque. I'll show you from this angle. So you might kind of ask, how do you get the 3-beat out of that? Well, if you're looking at it, there's 1 beat and then 2 beats on the other side. So there's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and that's how you get that count, okay? And I'll throw in some slow-mo on that as well. Okay, so then in covering the reverse torque hand transfer, so once you've kind of got this basic one down, so what you're going to do is instead of here where it'll just have your one beat right there, so you have your 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Once you have that one, as it's coming back around to do beat 1, you're going to transfer hands, so it's going to end up looking like this. Okay. So and if you see what I mean, there's the spot right there where it comes across the back of your wrist, and as that's guiding over, you just catch it. So it's the back of the wrist over, back of the wrist over. Okay. And the extra little piece that we added on to that particular move is just you're just going to do an extra little spin on the end of it. So when you do it, you're going to do, so instead of going straight into it like that, you're just going to do one extra rotation on that side. So it's spin, catch, spin, catch, spin, catch, spin, catch, just like that. The next move that we had shared was the series of moves, which was the thumb roll into the syncopated wrist catch, bounce, reversal into a syncopation, off the wrist into an aerial, which is a lot of mumbo jumbo, I know that, but so I'm just going to kind of show you what that is. So you're going to do the basic thumb roll, so just the forward thumb roll and back into forward grip. So the middle section is probably the hardest out of all of them to do. So this one's kind of tricky, so what I'm going to show you real quick, it's just kind of how it works. So basically, if you're imagining doing like a horizontal spin below your hand, instead of going below, you're going to aim, you're going to shoot it around your wrist and aim across the back of your hand like that, so that you catch it in reverse grip, and it comes as a bounce right there, or as a pause, if you will, but the momentum will make it bounce, so then you can unwrap it and hit your syncopation, okay? So what that's going to look like is, again, so you're going like this, kind of roll it off your thumb, and you see how I kind of go on the back of my hand right there with that first stick. So as this one is coming around, I let go of it and stick my hand out a little bit, and this comes across the back like that, catch it here, and redirect out, okay? So real quick, it's going to look like this. So like that. Here. That. And then from here. and how you get into your syncopation to the aerial from that is basically, so once you've got that part down, so you've got your thumb roll, oops, you're into this, you do that move, come under, and so as it redirects, it's going to come under into the syncopation just straight away. So it'll be like your thumb roll to that, redirect out, let it spin, catch into your other hand, pretty much like that. I know syncopations can be kind of fun, but basically what you're going to do is let it go once, 1.5, so it's going to come here, all the way over and around, back to there, and as the momentum comes up, you're going to let it leap. So it's under your arm this way. So it goes there, that. And that one can be a little tricky to play with. The key is really getting your balance point to where the stick, as it's coming back up, lands right there, so it's kind of stuck with where it goes. And then the momentum will just bring it up and over, and you just kind of lift your arm and give it a little bit of a hop. Yeah. Right, and the last one that we shared was the waist wrap. Now what that one is basically, it's a behind the back launch that wraps all the way across your body, and then you catch it with your opposite hand behind your back. Alright, and the other one was the spinning version, which is basically where you kind of walk your body in a circle as you do it. So it almost kind of helps to give you the momentum to get around, but just because the footwork is there and the technicality is still there, that's why we figured it'd be a little bit more tricky. So, but kind of like how I like to do it is approach, you're going to spin your body kind of into the direction that you're going to launch it. So it'll kind of be like that. I can show you again here. That was a little more of an aerial, but you kind of see what I'm saying. Like that. Alright guys, there you have it. I hope that was a little bit of help to you. You have to forgive me for the wind and the shakiness and the sound. It's been a really windy past few days around here, so apologize for that, but I do hope it was a little bit of help for you. If you have any other questions or anything like that, just feel free to holler. Thanks.